This sweater is really quite simple to make. It's just 2 panels on the front and a big panel on the back, and then the sleeves are just 2 rectangular panels as well. I only had enough yarn to make a sample, so yes, yours will look different than mine. I wish I could make an entire new sweater, but it's just not financially feasible for me to do that. You can take this information and make your own sweater, use any colors that you want, and modify it best to fit you. So this is kind of what we're looking at. So we've got our back panel is the big one, and then we've got our 2 front panels. And I kind of wrote on the back panel so you could see how many rows I did of each color, but you can do any color that you want and any amount of rows. It just needs to be even rows. And there are 2 single crochet rows for the white waves. And so whenever you are trying to figure out what size to make, you can kind of use this as a guide. So take your bust, mine's about 38. And so what I did was I wanted the entire circumference to be about that much. So my back panel measures about 18.5 inches, and then my front panels measure about 9.5 inches wide. That totals 19. And then also we're going to add a trim around, which you can make the trim as thick as you want. If you have a larger bust, add some width to your front panels if needed. And then also we're going to add the 1 inch of trim, which will add 2 inches, and that will help it overlap. And then for my cardigan, I made it about 30 inches long. That is totally up to you. You can make it short or longer and just change up the amount of color rows that you do. So the formula that you're going to follow is 14 times blank plus 3, because the undulating pattern is in 14. So what I did is I chained until I got to how big I wanted the back panel, and then made sure that it fit in this formula. I like my sleeves a little bit baggier in the armpit, so my sleeves ended up being around 5 inches folded, so about 10 inches, and I did write down the chains that I did, but you know, the chains is just going to depend on your tension, so it's kind of hard to go off of chains, but I did leave my chains in there, so if you want to use that, you can. Otherwise, you'll just add more waves or remove a wave, which that will help you figure out kind of the measurements that you want. Go ahead and chain 28. This will be the undulating length. We're going to add 3. 1, 2, 3, because that is a double crochet. So we are going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 3 is a double crochet. We're going to add 2 double crochets into that 4th chain. So 1, 2. Okay, so right now we have 3 double crochets. This one's a chain, 2, 3, in the first stitch. Now we're going to do 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. So now we're going to decrease. We're going to double crochet 3 together. DC 3 tog. Okay, so we're going to yarn over like we're doing our double crochet. So yarn over, go into the first stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to yarn over, go through the second one, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, we're going to go through the 3rd stitch. We are going to pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on a hook. 3 double crochets together. We're going to do that one more time. So go ahead, go to this first stitch. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go in the second chain, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to yarn over, go through the 3rd, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on your hook. Alright, so there is our bottom of our wave. So we are going to do 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, oops, and 3. Okay, now we are going to start the top of our wave. So we are going to do 3 double crochets in the next stitch. So here's 1, 2, 3. 3 in the next one. It's kind of small, but it's okay. 1, 2, 3. Next, we are going to do 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches. We're going back down the wave. So we went up and now we're going down. So this one's kind of small, but just make sure you're getting in there. Make sure you're getting into the right one. So there it is right there. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we went up, and now we're going to go back down. Can you hear that blue jay? Okay, double crochet 3 together. Yarn over, we're going through the first one, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go through your third, pull through 2, you've got 4 on your hook, yarn over, pull through 4. That's 3 together. We're going to do it one more time. Yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, second stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, third stitch, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 4 to end. There's 3 together. So at the end of your row, you should have 4 stitches. And you might have pulled this one too tight, and if you only have 3 left, you could go into the slip knot if you want, if you don't want to start over. But make sure you have 4. So let's do our 3 double crochets in 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. You're going to place 3 double crochets in the last spot. And so it's a little tight. 1, it kind of opened up a bit. 2, 3. So for my wave pattern, I'm doing a smaller version than what you'll do because I don't have that much yarn left. But you're going to start with your increase of 3. We're going to go down 3, double crochet 3 together, double crochet 3 together, back up 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to increase 3, back down 1, 2, 3, 3 together. Do you see 3 together? Back up 1, 2, 3, and 3 in the last stitch, which is an increase because we also increased here. So we've got 2 increases here. We started with 1, we end with 1. So that's how the pattern goes. We are going to go ahead and do the next row in the same color. So we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work. Then into this first stitch, we are going to place 2 more double crochets. 1, 2. Alright, so into the next 3, we place a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. Alright, now we gotta start going down. Double crochet 3 together. 1, pull through 2, go through the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go through the third stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 4. Do it one more time. Yarn over, pull through 4. Alright, we are going to go back up our hump, our wave. We're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Increases for the next row will go into the third and the first stitch of your previous. So let's place our 3 in here for our 3 double crochets. 1, 2, whoops, 3. Let's go back down. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do our DC 3 together. Yarn over. All right, there's one. We're going to do it one more time. Now we've got 4 left. Do our 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. All right, now into that chain 3, I like to go through this hole, but some people like to go in the top of the chain. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go into this gap. I'm going to place 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Whoops. And 3. So now, if we're ready to do a color change, then we can go ahead and do a color change. You can do whatever is easiest for you. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it. And give enough to weave in. You don't have to leave quite that long of a tail, but it's good while you're practicing to leave longer tails. All right, so going into the last stitch that we made, go underneath it. We are going to pick up our new color, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And because the first one is technically where a join happens, we'll do one more. 4. Okay, so I did 4 right there, and I pulled the first one tight so it really looks like 3. Okay, we are going to turn our work. We are going to do something different. On the color change rows, we are going to go back loop only, following the same exact pattern. So I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to split this one open and go in that back loop, which is the back of the V. I'm going to go back loop only. So I'm going to go in through there, through the back, do 1 double crochet. If you remember from the pattern, we do 2 in the first stitch, right? 2. So this is going to give a more lifted effect for the color changes. So I've got 3 in that first. We're going to do our 3 back loop only. 1, 2, and 3. On the right side, that's when we're doing our back loop only, and that creates the lift. So you can see that it's a little bit lifted and you get that 3D effect. We did our 3 double crochets. Now we're going to do our decrease. Go in the back loop, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go through the back loop, pull through 2. Yarn over, go through the back loop, pull through 2. You got 4 on your hook, yarn over, pull through 4. Do it again. I kind of hold it towards me so I can look inside of it and see what's the V. I don't know why this one's kind of splitty, but this is the Premier yarn, and I started with Lion Brand Basic Stitch, and then this is Premier, and they're mostly, you can't tell them apart once you wash them, but I've noticed that whenever you first open them, the Lion Brand feels a little bit more stiff, and the Premier is a little bit more fuzzy, but once you wash it, you cannot tell a difference. All right, do your 3, going back up our wave. All right, now at the top, check our work. So we've got our 3 increase and our 3 here. So in that third one, we make an increase, and in the first one of the next set, we make an increase. And that's of the previous row. In the back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Our double crochets going down, so 1, 2, 3. We're going to start our decreases. Ready? Back loop only. 1, 2, oops, my yarn's tight, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so we've got 4 left, so we do our 3 doubles. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 3 in the last stitch, back loop only. So in this case, I will go in the top. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, so that was just one row of our color change. So we're gonna go on our row 2 of our new color. So row 2 of our teal color, we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work. We are not color changing, so we will not go in the back loop. So we're going to put 2 into this first stitch and continue our pattern. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to do our decrease. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do another decrease. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go up our wave. Whoops. Go up our wave. 1, 2, 3. Check our work. We're in the third stitch of the previous increase in the first of the other increase. We placed 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. We're going back down. 1, 2, 3. Decrease. 1, 2, 3. Pull through. 1, 2, 3. Pull through. We've got 4 stitches left, so make our 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do a 3 increase in the last stitch. I'm going to go in the space. 1, 2, 3. You can make this however you want, but in my sweater, I color change here, so we're gonna just do that. Okay, so to give some context, we just did our top 2 up here. This is the top of my back panel. We did these 2 teal, and then to continue the pattern, I do 4 dark blue, 2 teal, 2 more dark blue, 2 more teal, 2 more dark blue. Right here is where I start my armpit. To make a sweater top-down style, you can go ahead and start making the sleeves. We'll go over that together. Additionally, before we continue, we're going to do a couple other things. So to sew everything together, we need to make this wavy edge straight. So we are going to add some rows to the beginning to make it straight. We have to do that for the front panels, the back panels, and also for the sleeves, because to sew it together you can't sew a wavy edge together. I mean, you can, but it'll probably look lumpy and bumpy, so we're not going to do that. And for me personally, I made this cardigan longer than I made the sleeves. So for the sleeves, I did a slightly different pattern. As you can see here, I didn't do those 4 of the dark blue right here. I just did 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4. Because this cardigan, I wanted it to be long, and I didn't want the sleeves to be too long. We're going to attach this dark blue again. I'll show you how to do that. So in our last stitch, right now we're on the wrong side. I'm going to chain 4. 2, 3, 4. And pull it tight. Alright, so there's my chain 4. We are going to turn our work. We are now on the front side, or also called the right side. And as you can remember, whenever we change colors, we're going to go in the back loop only. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So in that first stitch that you had, you're going to have to look really closely, pull it apart a little bit, and go into the back loop and add your 2 doubles. So I'm going to continue the pattern. You've got this. Back loop only when you color change, and then we are going to come back. Okay, so this is the back. I'm going to cut my yarn. So here's my 2, 2, and 2. Flip it over. This is the front. Now we can really see how nice the wave's looking. Alright, we're going to start getting lighter. I only have this much of the yarn left, so I'm going to go ahead and do 2 rows of this color. I am going to attach it where I left off, which was on the wrong side. My first row of the color change done in the back loop. So if you want to do it the top down way, then you can go ahead and work on your sleeves to attach it. So to start your sleeve, you're going to start the same way we did. You can change the pattern, you can keep it the same. I had to cut out a few rows because my arms are short. All of these are going to need a straight top. So we have to do that before we can do any sewing. So after I finish this row, we're going to go through and make this side straight for sewing. In my personal sweater, I did 4 rows of this blue, but I really just don't have enough yarn, so I'm just going to leave it at 2. So like I said before, you need to make sure we do this top edge before we sew it together. If you're just making a baby blanket or, you know, a blanket, you definitely don't need to do this step, but this is so we can get all of our sewing lines straight. So we've got our wrong side. I'm going to attach my yarn into the hole, and this was where this is our leftover from whenever we made our chain, so you know you're doing the right thing if you're not on that side. Okay, let's chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So essentially, and add 1 more because we attached the yarn. Alright, so it's going to mirror the best we can the stitches on this side. So we had an increase here, so we're not going to do that. We're essentially going to do the opposite. So we are going to go into the chain, which is right here. It's not the gap, it's the chain. We're going to do 4 double crochets into the next 4 chains, so we'll have 5 double crochets. Alright, so we've got our chain. That's this first stitch. We've got 1, which is these 2. We need to do 1 in here. We need 1 here. So there's 3, we need to do 1 more in here. All right, so there we've got 4 double crochets in our first one. So over these 3, from this increase that we did, the hump, we are going to make our decrease. 1, 2, 3. Do our decrease. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to do another decrease over that other hump. 1, 2. Sometimes just try your best. I mean, it will look good either way. So, all right, so there's my 2 decreases. We're going to go down. We're going to do our 3 double crochets, just like we did before. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we've got our decrease going down, so we are going to increase. So I'm going to put 3 double crochets in here, 3 double crochets in here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, there's our increase. So if you check your work, you are starting to get a straight edge. It's not perfect on this first go, but we'll add a row of double crochets for the front panels and the back panels. For the sleeves, I didn't want too much of this dark blue, so I didn't add an extra double crochet row, but you can if you want to. So we're gonna go back up the hill. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're gonna do our decrease over the next 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we should have 4 left, right? Because we always ended with 4 before. So let's do our 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then we're not going to increase in this last one. We're just going to put 1 double crochet. Chain 3. Turn your work. We're on the correct side now, or the right side. And I'm going to just do a double crochet in each stitch across just to help it lay flat a little bit better, because we kind of have a little bit of bumps here, and that'll just help make it easier to sew. Okay, so this one is connected to here, so that's the mirror. So we don't place another one there. That would be an increase, so we place one in the next stitch. Okay. So just double crochet in your normal loop all the way across. It is relatively straight across the top. That's exactly what we wanted. And then here's our bottom. Make sure you do your front panels and your back panels all with the straight edge at the top. For the sleeves, you could just do your wrong side opposite wave. You don't have to do this additional double crochet row, but you can if you want to. But it does add a little bit of length. So that's what this is right here. Okay, so now that we've got our lighter color, we're going to start making our waves. The right side has the 3D effect. Let's turn it over to the back, and we are going to attach our yarn. This time we're just going to chain 2. 1, 2. So the wave is smaller, so we're just going to be using single crochet. So turn your work, and we are not going into this stitch because we're not doing an increase. We're just going to do back loop only, single crochets across, turn, single crochet across. It's just 2 rows. So let's go ahead and start. So we're going to find that back loop, and we're just going to go all the way across, back loop only. So I kind of tilt it towards myself. So go ahead and do that all the way across, and then meet me back at the end, and you should be seeing this ridge because we're on the right side, on the front. Okay, so we are coming close to the end. So just make sure you go in the last available stitch. So I'm going to go into the top since we're doing back loop. It's a little bit tricky. Okay. Okay, so there's our first row done. We're going to chain 1, turn our work, and now we're on the back side or wrong side, and we are just going to single crochet across the top, and then I will meet you back at the end. Just remember, we're not going into this first stitch because that would make it an increase. So we go into the second one. So each previous stitch will have 1 stitch over top of it, okay? You just got to be careful you're not accidentally increasing. So we've had 3 stitches here, I have 3 stitches on top. Now go all the way across. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of my row. We've got 1 here and then 1 into that chain. 1 we did earlier. I'm going to go into the space. So this is the wrong side. I'm going to cut my yarn. Okay, so I'm going to flip it upside down. So this is the top of it, and here's what we just did. So now you should really be able to see that 3D effect here. And now you can start continuing the pattern however you want. After a wave, it's just like a normal color change, so we're going to go back loop only, and I'll go ahead and show you that. On the wrong side, on the back, I'm going to attach my yarn in the top here. I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn our work. Okay, so now we continue the pattern, but we're not going to be going into the same exact thing that we usually would go to. We're going into the single crochet, so we just have to be more careful as we go across. So for the pattern, as you remember, we do double crochets, back loop only. I'm going to have to pull this first single crochet apart a little bit so I can get in there. 1, 2. Pull everything tight, but it'll look better when we weave in. Okay, so now we are on the correct side. We're doing back loop only, continuing our pattern. So 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Now we're going down, 3 double crochets together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, go through 4, going back up, 1, 2, 3. Now it's a little bit harder to make sure we're going into the right stitch, but as long as you counted, you should be fine. So let's do our 3 in 1 stitch, back loop only. This is our first increase. Then we've got our second increase in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3. Continuing down, 1, 2, 3. We're doing 3 together. 1, 2, 3. 3 together. 1, 2, 3. We should have 4 stitches left. So we do our 3 double crochets in a row next. Don't forget, back loop only. 1, 2, 3. 3 double crochets in the final stitch. It's a chain. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is how we're looking. Okay, so now I'm going to do another row of this green, and I'm going to do normal double crochets across in both loops, just like how we continue the pattern. So 1, 2, 3, turn our work. You put 2 doubles in the first stitch. Don't forget that. 1, 2, 3. DC 3 together and continue the pattern, and I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, so I just did my 2 DC together. We've got 4 stitches left. So I'm going to do 3 double crochets going back up. 1, 2, 3. We've got this chain left, so I'm going to put 3 into the chain. That's our increase. 1, 2, 3. So depending on how long you want your sweater, you could do 2 more rows of this green color. For mine, I had 4, and then I had 2. So it just really, it's very customizable. Just depends on how long you want everything, and then you can kind of decide how you want to do the colors. So after this row, I'm going to do another wave. So go back and watch this one if you need it, but it's just a single crochet across, back loop only, and then turn your work and single crochet across. And just so you remember, when you finish your even rows, you're on the back. And when you add your new one, you're then on the front. So your back loop only will be when you have the front side facing you. Okay, so we're going to be nice and close now, so I can go ahead and show you some tips on weaving in your ends. So I've got all of our ends. I'm going to flip it over to the wrong side. So here we've got, I'm going to weave in this blue. Smush up the yarn, stick it through. Okay. So this is how I weave in my ends so that I don't have it come loose in the washer. See how this yarn is a tube? We're gonna go inside the tube. And we're not weaving where we go, you know, in and out, in and out, in and out. We're going in the tubes of the yarn, in the fibers. So I'm gonna come in here, go just a little bit to get us started. So usually what I do, and I loosen it up a bit, is I go in where the design is kind of thick and then it's not as noticeable. So I backtrack a little bit, but I'm gonna go forward a bit. And if you can see, I'm kind of inside the tube of the yarn. So maybe about an inch or so. I pull it to stretch it. You can kind of see where I weaved that end in. And I'm going to go back the way I came, and I'm going to go into itself the best that I can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the reason why we go back the way we came a lot of people recommend this, is that it really gets it in there. Now if you want to, you could do this one more time, but I don't want anything to be too thick. So then to cut my end, cut it just like that, and then it still looks nice on the front. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and chain however many, however wide you want your trim to be. So I chained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm gonna have it be 6 stitches wide. So this first chain kind of got tight, but the second chain from the hook, we're going to do a single crochet, and we're just gonna single crochet in each chain. Chain 1, turn our work. Now we're going to go back loop only, and that's our repeating pattern. So we don't go in the chain, we go in the first loop, back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you continue on for the whole length of your 2 front panels after you've already assembled it.